Alright guys, so welcome back. Got an interesting video for you guys today. We're going to be looking at a deck that most of you guys probably have never played or maybe have never seen. And it's going to be based around this Whimsicott card. So with the entrance of Glimwood Tangle, a stadium card that came out in Darkness Ablaze, we get to reflip our coin flips on any coin flips that would happen from our Pokemon's attacks. So if we take a look at Whimsicott here, for one colorless energy, that first attack, Cottonee Ride, you get to flip a coin, and if it's heads, your opponent shuffles their active Pokemon and all cards attached to that active Pokemon into their deck. So with this deck, we're able to kind of get into Whimsicott pretty easily, get into it pretty reliably, and we also have some ways to find Glimwood Tangle. And really the whole idea of this deck is to get Whimsicott up and running on your second turn. Hopefully your opponent doesn't have more than one or maybe more than two Pokemon in play at the end of their first turn, going second rather. And then when that happens, you know, we can flip the coin, and then hopefully if we have Glimwood Tangle up, we can reflip that coin. And pretty much you have a 75% chance of just shuffling your opponent's Pokemon back into their deck, effectively winning the game without taking any prize cards. Now this deck here in the long run doesn't always work out very well if your opponent starts the game with a lot of Pokemon on their bench, or if they just sort of get fortunate at the beginning of the game. Then this deck doesn't really do well with the game going on for a long period of time. But it can have some wins. I mean, effectively your opponent, in a perfect scenario, your opponent's never able to really set up their Pokemon. So we do run two Jirachis, kind of a good idea or a good card to start the game with if we're not starting with the Cottonee. We also run one Gossifleur just for that first effect, their Call for Family. We get to search our deck for 3 basic Pokemon, put them onto our bench. So if we do start with Gossifleur, we can just get the Cottonee out, or get 3 Cottonees out right onto our bench right at the start. We run a Dedenne, a Crobat, and an Eldegoss, and we do this just so we can find more cards in the deck. Early in the game, you're going to probably want to sift through a lot of, or at least a small portion of your deck to try to find the Whimsicott, try to find an energy, try to find the Glimwood Tangle, or any other cards that can facilitate that. So the Jirachis, the Crobats, and the Dedennes help with that. We also run a Crushing Hammer, so this helps us if the game does kind of drag on into those later, or a little bit later than the first 2 rounds, then Crushing Hammer can help us sort of keep an advantage for the first 2, 3, or maybe even 4 turns, and then slowly just sort of shuffle your opponent's Pokemon back into their deck, making it so they really don't have any opportunity to attack you or take any prizes, or populate their bench with Pokemon, and then giving you the win. We run 3 Communications, 2 Quick Balls, and 3 Great Balls. We do this because Pokemon Search, again, is really important, being able to find those Cottonees, being able to find the Whimsicotts to get that attack off. So we run 3 Great Ball, 3 Communications, 2 Quick Balls. It seems to be enough for finding the cards you need in this deck. We also run 3 Scoop Up Nets, 4 Switch cards, mainly for the Jirachis, the Gossifleurs, and also even like the Cottonee or Whimsicott if you want to save the Whimsicott. If it's about to get knocked out, it only has 100 HP, so that a lot of times can kind of save you in certain times in the game, I guess. And then of course, obviously, we run the 4 Glimwood Tangles. So very essential to have this card out to kind of give you just another coin flip if you don't flip heads, because again, it's a 50-50 chance to shuffle your opponent's Pokemon back into their deck, but with Glimwood Tangle, it's 2 50-50 shots, so effectively a 75% chance that you will flip heads. And now we are going on to the supporters. So we run 3 Boss's Orders. Boss's Orders is very useful in this deck because, of course, if your opponent is setting up their Pokemon on their bench, we need to be able to shuffle that Pokemon back in your opponent's deck. So Boss's Orders helps you gust into that, that Pokemon that they're trying to set up on, and then you shuffle that one into their deck and really kind of halt their whole strategy. We run a Guzma Hala because, again, we can search for the Stadium card, we can search for an item or a tool card, and then we can also search for a Special Energy, which we run plenty of Special Energies in this deck. 2 Marnies, 2 Professor's Research, just for draw support early game if you need to shuffle through your deck. But we also run a Rosa, so if you do get knocked out on your first turn, or on your opponent's first turn going second, Rosa can pretty much guarantee that you're able to come back and get that Whimsicott attack off on your second turn. So very useful card in this deck. And then for tools, we run 2 Giant Bombs. So sometimes, again, you miss your coin flips, but you want that backup security. So your opponent, a lot of times, at least for me, when I came across playing this deck, was a lot of welder decks, a lot of decks running Volcanion and starting the games with Volcanion. So Giant Bomb really kind of makes it so if your opponent is hitting for weakness on the Whimsicott, so any fire decks, it pretty much is guaranteed to take 100 damage if it attacks you that turn. And again, that can kind of buy you some more time to get the coin flips that you need. And then for energies, we run 4 Capture Energies because again, Whimsicott's attack only takes a colorless, so Capture Energy works well to kind of find more Cottonees to throw into your bench. And then we also run 2 Recycle Energies. So again, why not? We're only running so many energies, and with Recycle Energy, if your Whimsicott gets knocked out, then you get to sort of put that energy back into your hand, and then you don't really have to necessarily need another energy in your hand, or draw into that second energy to use the Whimsicott's attack 2 times in a row. So we run 2 Recycle Energies, and then we run 4 just basic grass energies, because again, we do run 2 Ordinary Rods. So again, if the game kind of drags on and your opponent is slowly knocking out your Whimsicotts and your Cottonees, then we get to shuffle 2 Pokemon from our discard pile into our deck, or shuffle 2 basic energies back into our deck, or both. So again, a really good card to kind of keep this deck at least somewhat viable in the long run. But that is the deck, and really, again, it's all about getting those first few turns advantage, being able to shuffle your opponent's Pokemon into their deck, pretty much making it so they do not have any Pokemon to play, and effectively you winning the game without taking any prize cards. So a very fun deck to play. Nothing anything crazy. It's not going to be anything top tier, but something very fun to play nonetheless. And yeah, so let's get into a couple games. All right, let's get into it. Dan Scarin. I don't know. We'll flip tails. Oh, and hopefully that's the only time we flip tails all game. And we'll go first. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, boys. You're telling me there's a chance. You are telling me there's a chance. There's a slim chance, but there is a chance. Will he draw into another Pokemon? Yes, he's going to research out and most definitely find a Pokemon he can get into play, so. Kind of stinks for us. Oh. And he doesn't. Uh-oh, chat. Uh-oh, guys. You know what this means. You know what this means. Alright. This is looking kind of sketch, but we can't find a stadium, though. And we'll get rid of these. Because why not? Alright, guys. Here it comes. 75% chance to win the game. Will we do it? Will we do it? This is what this deck is all about. Ugh, this is what we're all... Well, this is literally what this is all about. Here we go. Hey, there it is. Well, sometimes it's that simple. I mean, that's really what this deck's trying to do. So, you know, sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. That time it did. Can't complain. Alright, back into it. Start with the Jirachi because we do have the Switch card. And we'll see if our opponent gets more than one card into play. More than one Pokemon into play, rather. Not yet. We'll Crushing Hammer. Land that. We take those. And we'll grab another Cottonee, because why not? We'll take the Communications, in case we need it, for whatever reason. I'm going to call that for the turn. I mean, he will definitely have another Pokemon. Right? I mean... okay, well, he doesn't. So there you go. I mean, he knew. He knew it was coming. He knew it was going to happen. You know? No fighting it. Nothing he could have done. There's nothing he could have done. I mean, he could have waited. I mean, I would have had to flip the coin. So he had a chance no matter what. But very funny. Sometimes people just know. You know, they're like, well, I'm not sticking around to lose to this deck, and I can't blame them. I really can't blame them.